Previously, what happened in Extraordinary Attorney Woo Part 1. Attorney Woo suffers from an autism spectrum disorder. She lands a job at one of the country's finest law firms, and every day is a battle to prove just how good of a lawyer she is. She manages legal cases, meets friends, and even experiences true love along the way. However, one day she is thrown completely off guard when she learns that Ta Sumai is her real mother. Woo comes across another case, and this time her defendant is the youngest son of the director of Munjin Academy, Bang Gupong. He is accused of kidnapping elementary kids when he took them for some recreational activities without informing their parents. He meets Woo, and she tells him how to address the court. Despite her advice, he continues to peddle the notion that he is the commander-in-chief of the Children's Liberation Army and eventually makes his way to the detention center. Now the only solution to save him is to convince the parents of those children to sign the non-punishment letter. Later, Gupong gets questioned by Woo and Min Woo about the kidnapping, and we are shown some moments of his trip with the children. And it is pretty clear that he wanted the children to be happier, and there was no malice in his actions. Later, Woo and Jun-ho track down the kids from the incident to get information regarding the case. They find out that the academy is actually abusing the children by forcing them to work long hours for their studies to the point that they have to drink a lot of caffeine. The next day, Gupong's mother gets the non-punishment letter from the mothers by claiming that her son is mentally unstable. In the courtroom, the idea of Gupong being a megalomaniac is pleaded, but now it's time for the big reveal as Woo speaks up about the abusive treatment of the academy towards the children, and how he was just liberating them from the pressure. The next day, the moment we have all been waiting for has arrived as Woo confesses her feelings and tells Jun-ho that she likes him, leaving him speechless. As per Gupong's wish, all the children attend the trial and all of them yell out the rules of the children's liberation with him. It is a touchy moment and everyone witnesses the defendant's ideology. After the case, Jun-ho races up to Woo and admits that he likes her as well. It comes as an absolute shock to her and she doesn't know how to react. Sumi visits Won-ho at his restaurant, but he is clearly not happy to see her. Sume is here to give him and Woo an offer to move overseas. Of course, she's trying to get rid of them as she thinks that Woo is a threat to her and Tazan, but Won-ho asks her to leave, telling her not to interfere in their lives again. Woo and Su-yen are assigned another case, and they have to defend a boy named Yang Zhang, who is accused of sexually assaulting a disabled girl, Shin Hae-young. But he claims that there's a big misunderstanding as the two of them are in love. During the trial, Woo brings up the text messages between the pair which point towards mutual love and consensual intercourse. However, she's interrupted by Shin's mother, who is not ready to accept this truth. After work, Woo and Jun-ho decide to date each other, and she hands him a file of things to do on a date. Isn't she the cutest? The next day, Shin tries to approach Woo and asks to meet her alone in the coffee shop. It seems that she has been hiding a secret. Later, as they meet up, it is revealed that she and Yang are really in love, and her mother made her write the false statement. So the only way to save Yang is for Shin to speak the truth. But at the court, she is confused by the prosecutor. She eventually loses her composure and rushes back to her mother. Elsewhere, Min Woo investigates Woo's ties with Sumi as he goes for dinner with his senior after getting informed that Woo is Sumi's daughter. The next day, the judge announces that Yang is guilty, so he is sentenced to 2 years in jail. It's a tough pill to swallow, with Shin bursting into tears in front of everyone. Later that evening, some romantic event occurs between Woo and Jun-ho, and they share a passionate moment. The next day comes with new challenges and a new case. This time, Woo has to deal with a man who invested his money in a lottery ticket with his partners, but he gets betrayed by one of them, who broke the promise to share the prize money after winning the ticket. Woo heads to the gambling den and finds a man who witnessed the promise. But during the trial, Jun-ho reports to Woo that the witness has run away. However, the next day, they are able to present another witness and manage to prove that the promise was made and the defendant, Iasu, was able to get his money. But Woo notices a strange signal between the witness and the defendant, pointing out that there is something wrong. After the trial, he visits Woo's office and asks her about the division of assets after divorce, and if the lottery money would be included as well. Now that he has won the money, he is obviously trying to get rid of his wife, so he doesn't need to share it with her. Woo heads out with Jun-ho to meet Iaisu's wife and warns her beforehand about the divorce. She shows up at Hanbada to seek help regarding the rightful division of assets, but the story takes a shocking turn when Iaisu's car is hit by a truck and he dies to his doom. Seeing this situation, Woo gets a panic attack, but Jun-ho rushes to her and calms her down. As he drops her back home, he promises to stay by her side, and with that, the two share another beautiful kiss. However, this time, Gwang-ho sees them together. Whereas, Min Woo shows up at Taesan and he claims that he knows Woo is Sume's daughter. He asks Sume to give him a job at her company in return for keeping his mouth shut. She accepts his proposal, but first he has to persuade Woo to leave Hanbada. Another serious case pops up regarding gender inequality at the life insurance firm, where all of the female employees are forced to resign. If they don't, then their husbands will have to go out on unpaid leave. The majority of the women have already resigned, but 2 of them find it unfair and they have filed a lawsuit against it. This time, Hambada is defending the company's interests, and the attorneys have to deal with the opposing lawyer, Ryu, who is well versed in these types of cases. During a trial, she's able to prove that the company is itself biased and brings things into her favor. Later, Min-woo starts his game to make Woo quit as he tries to trick her with some documents that show Hambada's involvement in the company's policymaking. She is upset about it, but Myong-seok asks her to focus on defending the client. At the next trial, she continues to follow his advice and defends the company even though she's clearly unhappy with it. She brings up the infertility issue of one of the plaintiffs and says that voluntary resignation could have been a better choice for her so that she can focus on the IVF she was getting. Later, Min-woo continues to play dirty as he breaks into Woo's office and sends the documents he had given her to Ryu with Woo's card inside. However, things during the trial don't turn in his favor as Ryu doesn't present that evidence. Despite Ryu's efforts, the jury makes the discussion in the company's favor. Later, Ryu handles the documents to Woo, claiming that she sent her these as she decides not to show them as it could cause her trouble. Moreover, she warns her to be careful at Hambada, whereas Myong-seok is seen coughing with blood, and it turns out that he is sick. Another case from Jeju Island comes and is about a couple who have been charged a heavy fine for visiting the temple despite not intending to visit it. Myong-seok decides to take a business trip to Jeju with all the attorneys to look into the case. At the airport, he surprises everyone with his holiday getup, and it seems that the attorneys aren't going alone, as Ju Rami and Min Sik join them. When the team arrives at their destination, they are also charged a fine even though they are not visiting the temple. Min-woo records the whole scene and the video is presented in court, but the opposing lawyer proves the temple's right to collect the money. The case continues the next day in court, but Myong-seok suddenly grabs his stomach in pain and collapses on the floor. He is taken to the hospital where it is revealed that he is suffering from stage 3 stomach cancer, and the team is disheartened to learn the shocking truth. Later, Woo and Junho head out to see some dolphins, but something awful is about to happen as Woo tells him that they should break up. She thinks that she is incapable of taking care of him because of her autism. Shocked yet disheartened, Junho tries to stop, but she simply apologizes and rushes back because she remembers something related to the case. At the court, she makes a point that the road is public property and the temple can't collect tax from it. With that, the case leans to their side. After the trial, the attorneys head back and Junho ends up passing out because of the breakup. Meanwhile, Min-woo and Soo-yeon have a chat outside, and she indirectly lets him know that she likes him. The next day, the team heads out and Myong-seok gets to eat his favorite noodles, which makes the whole team happy that he is able to enjoy the taste again. With that, their trip ends and they head back to Seoul. On the other hand, Hannah's planning something dangerous to put down Sumi, as she lets the reporter know that she has an illegitimate daughter. The attorneys come across another case of hacking that has taken place at the Ron company, causing the organization to pay billions of dollars to its consumers. The attorneys have to defend the company, but this time they are led by another senior attorney, Jang, because Myong-seok is at the hospital for his surgery. In the courtroom, Jang is unable to make a good impression, and it turns out to be a waste of time. Later, the CEO informs the attorneys about a class action lawsuit, and what's even crazier is that the lawsuit is being taken up by Taesin. During the trial, things get further messed up as the CEO, Cheol, loses control and consumes cyanide in front of everyone, leading him to collapse. He is rushed to the hospital while the attorneys are grounded by the press. They manage to escape, and suddenly a point comes to Woo's mind related to the case that can help them to win, but Jang is not ready to listen and throws her out of the case. The next trial begins, and he is still unable to put up a valid point. Surprisingly, Min-woo stands up and puts forward Woo's point, oblivious to the fact that it may damage his career. "We are sure you weren't expecting this at all, right?" Anyways, Round wins the lawsuit, and we are shown that the hacker behind all this chaos is Sumi's son, Sang Hyen, who hacked the data at the request of the company's new CEO, Chan Hong. He meets Woo and admits that he is guilty. Moreover, he hands her video evidence that proves that Chan is the one who hired him for hacking. The video is presented in court, and Chan is dismissed as the CEO, but the judge demands the witness to appear in person. Woo leaves to get Sumi's approval to have Sang at the court. On their way, Junho finally convinces her to continue their relationship, and the two finally get back together. Furthermore, she gets Sumi's approval, and Sang is presented in court where he confesses his crime. After trial, the attorneys celebrate their victory. Myong-seok also joins them with his ex-wife after having successful surgery. The next day, Woo learns that she has been given a full-time contract at Hanbada and starts to feel a sense of fulfillment. And with that, our recap comes to an end. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.